Clojure. Cool, so we are live and the internet is not working, but never mind. So I reached a point where I have to create a ORM or use an existing solution. So we will see what are the alternatives that are available. Clojure toolbox. Dude, you guys are crazy. Which channel? I am live or not? Live streaming. Use an existing. Yes, we are live. So let's see database or SQL Korma SQL. So there are few database abstractions in SQL. Walkable. I'm not sure what is walkable. Documentation. Yeah, so let's read its documentation. And yes, this thing is produced by Metabase team. And what we need, we don't really need select one field name, user ID. We select all from. So insert new user into database, converting the value of status to string first. Update new user. Update status keyword. I model tell session to document. Fetch user. Insert a new user. Okay, that's exactly what I'm not looking for. The reason is how are we going to manage relationship? So there is no SQL relation database ORM for Clojure for obvious reasons. Provide the better parts of ORM for Clojure, like a simple DB query, flexible custom behavior when inserting or retrieving. This kind of makes sense, right? So Tension build upon the Clojure JDBC and the excellence Honey SQL. The code that inspired this library was originally written to bring some of the sorely missing conveniences of overall, yeah, not useful. So this library SQL Korma, it's gonna be like super complex because Clojure is not designed that way to have everything tangled together. Def entity user has one address and select users with the address. Okay, select all from user where username is equal to that and username first is equal to Chris. Interesting. So let's see what we have, and before we do that, so I was I created few functions. Create nodes, it will simply create a node, right? So what we could have done, db insert. So this is just a simple insert statement. Okay, get, create and get is simply running the query on Okay, create tags. Now this is where it gets interesting. Sync tags and create tags. So okay, so we are creating unique tags, right? So in Laravel documentation, eloquent ORM, getting started. So insert soft delete mass assignment, name flight, create flight fill, flight model. Okay, sync tags, can we replace it with the function and use it over and over? So we have nodes and we also have like this query where we get tags, and one is using simple tags. Then we also have query, and we have to fix that too. And find query, merge find query, soak tags. Now everything is fine and cool, but it's getting out of order, and we need to find a way to put everything in order. That is the only job we have as a programmer. Okay, sync tags is copied 2 times. Let's get rid of that. So create tags and sync tags. So sync tag is in sync tag what we are doing. Let's go to SQL. So head SQL database, right? So we have this scenario where we have to insert in node with its tags. So let's say we create a node with the text test, and after the node is created, we going to insert all the tags that belongs to that node, and in here we will also add its relationship, right? So we need to handle that part, but the thing is we can't just hard code everything. We also have like the same functionality, like those same relationships we will have to manage with the different tables too. So we already have seen the example in Laravel where you just simply manage many to many. Okay, so maybe we are on the wrong side. Database, pagination, migration, query builder. Okay, so this is query builder, eloquent getting relationships. So has many through many. Okay, so this kind of behavior, like where you create those complex relationship and predefine them, I yet to see it in Clojure. Like if you just read the, let's go to the first Andrew, who is that? I don't know. Well, never mind. Clojure. So New Zealand, there is no SQL relationship TB or AMS for Clojure for obvious reasons. I can't see why, but then again, you have to have them. Can we avoid it? Kind of not. So let's think how we're going to rewrite this function sync. So let's call sync, right? So what this function should do, so its only duty is to synchronize, let's say we give it the for synchronization we give this function a parent ID and okay, I see. So this function is used basically to synchronize all the nodes and its IDs. So let's say we have one node, right, and it has like 10 tags, right? So for those 10 tags, like 3 already exist in database, so for those 3 we're not gonna create all the new tags. So what we're gonna do, we're going to create pending tags. So create new tags that are unique, like the tags that don't exist. Create tags that don't exist. Now what is the next step? So we created all the tags, so we already have this function already, right? So where I get tags and it to get all the tags by their names, and we simply map over existing tags that are already in database. Then we differentiate those names from the database, from the given tag list, so we get the unique tag names. Then we create a map of rows that we're going to insert in the table. In our case that would be in our tags, right? So IDs, then we simply generate the IDs, right? Okay, so we simply can provide the table name and okay, I see. So multiple tags. Now let's rewrite this function sync, and first of all it will take the table name, and next thing it's gonna do, it will take node ID and tag ID. So instead of that, it's gonna take values, right? So for like this morning I kind of like created all this logic, so I am like making the sync perfect as of now. So okay, let's fire up the REPL if we don't have it already. Land.REPL cmd land.REPL. Okay, so we also have lots of errors. We will fix them later. So if you don't know, I also like added this comment thing. It's if you want to add like comment, so comment, right? So this is basically to like provide code for REPL, like you want to test or debug anything, have a like large logic, you simply can define in here, right? So everything inside this block will not execute, it just simply like a comment, right? The reason we get nil back only because everything we evaluate returns something. If we don't do anything, as you can see, we don't get print, right? So if we are not sure, just let's print anything else, which is test, and it's simply returns nil. That is out the way. Let's import all the things that are required. Now create nodes. One thing I noticed with the Clojure, most of the time all the development I am doing, it's simply in REPL, and I'm not doing anything else. I just simply play around in REPL and like coding here and using REPL mostly. And when I started, I was like I wanted to just simply run the entire file like I used to with Node or Python, Go or Rust. So this is like any other language that simply don't force or don't play well with the REPL. So let's add more clutter from okay, let's handle node section later on. So something is really wrong with this code. Construct hash map. So okay, so this section is only to sync the code. Okay, so as of now, what we're going to do, we're going to see if the relationship exists, right? So if the entry already exists, we will not add it to we will not create a duplicate entry. The reason is simple, because we don't want to select the same data 2 times, right? So first step would be from values, let's call values rows, and so first of all let's return rows, right? I will comment out the last section, and rows, we will return the rows. It's evaluating, no, not returning, let's return rows, right? Now, sync will have table name, right? And it will have a sequence of values to insert into that table. So sync will basically take a table name and it will sync all those values based like if the value exists already, like if not ID and user like tag ID already exists, we will not add. Okay, so table rows, how we going to check whether the entries exist? Before we do that, map over rows, and okay, so we have all the rows. Should we use map? Okay, so we have all the data, so simply let's look at select query. Let's add some data, right? We need something to play around with. Go to data section, insert row, tag id1, not id, whatever. So we have some stuff. Select all from nodes tags. Now let's say where node id is equal to 1 and tag dot id is equal to 28. So this entry exists and we should be able to convert, right? So one thing we have to do, the row should be unique. So for example, in sync we're going to match against the table. So and it could be dynamic, like instead of not we could have like post id, instead of tag we could have anything else, and it's not limited to one. We could have like multiple items. We could have like, can we use something like that for tags? We have to see, right? But I'm not sure. I'm not a fan of like doing everything in one function. Maybe we will see as we grow this application. We will see whether we want to add more functionality to sync or not. So what we're gonna do, so the row should look in our scenario, so the row should look something like node id 1 and tag id which is 2, and we get a vector back. So let's define this def and sync rows or nation, too long, tags and nodes. Tags and relation, never mind, we'll say yep, relation data and click that, copy relation data. So we get that. Now next step, what we're gonna do, so we have table name and rows. Before we do anything, we need to find how we gonna call honey SQL so let's take a where example. Or and okay, so the where, instead of where between, fine, okay. So is there any example where we can see multiple wheres, or maybe have we used in our application? Okay, where hashtag htdocs model, Okay, live streaming. Are we still live? Yeah, we are live. So we were looking at where we're gonna get multiple wheres. Let's close that and that. We are not there. Walkable sequence. So this is the example we have, right? Let's convert and see what we get back. And call it H. Okay, where this and this, right? If we do H where and pass simple one thing, then pipe it to next where. Okay, H root where y is equal to y1 2. Okay, we simply get one where. Interesting. And once we evaluate, we also get this where. Okay, I think I really want to build it dynamically. So now what type of problem we have? So close this. In synchronization, let's copy that just for visualization, and we also have there that. And where is our data? This is our data, right? So in short, we want our data to look something like that. So right, let's first of all replace all these with the actual values, and it's gonna be 2, right? Note 1, note 2, tag 2. And to get from there to there, what we going to do now? One thing we can do is map over this item. Then that's we're gonna do, like we're going to map over it. Next step, we get this map value, and to get from there to there, what we can do, one thing we can do, that would be like calling h where. So let's say we call h where, and we get the first node. Okay, so let's say we have node id 1, and we call this first. On that we get a vector back, tag id. Okay, what if we call a map on that map, right? map 2, and what we get back. Let's just return this, right? So I'm pretty sure it's not gonna work because it will assume that we are calling a function, and instead of that we simply be calling println. If we can spell it properly, println. So we get the vector thing, right? And let's see if we call h where and first h where, so we say equal to, and the first, then we call second, and we do get what we need. But the problem with that is like we have in different order. So what we can do, we can call val. Okay, so some error. So basically from there to the next step we want it to something like we simply want to have everything merged together, and that way we could also append like next node, or maybe if we have anything other that we want to check, right? If the sequence, like if the row is unique in the table, it will insert, otherwise it will ignore. So we are node ID and tag ID. Okay. So one thing we can do, let's say we can like where def w. Now we get the w. Now w have list map, and we simply don't want to map, and we map our w, and what we get the value of where, right? And once we do that, we will have all the items okay, so we get all the items in array, and we basically want to convert okay, we want it to be, and okay, where value is equal to this. Now this not gonna play out well, so we have where t is equal to 1, right? Y is equal to y is equal to 2, and can we have something like that? And what we get, so we get a bad input. Okay, I simply don't want to like build this structure by hand. It would be much better if we could do something like where this and this, in case the underlying API changes. But then again, think we should be fine if we can simply return a where with this thing. Okay, so map v cons. Okay, cons pre-append merge right, so merge with that, which will be and we can say map v. Okay, never mind. Can we have it like this? Will it evaluate? Okay. I see. Cons. Then we call back. Okay, so we get the desired output, right? But we are doing like a lot of things. So now we got the where query, right? And merge where. Okay, so we also have like merge select merge where. Let's see that. Right, merge where. Why would we bother about crazy things? Merge where this. Okay, h merge where. Let's pass oh, I see, right. Let's pass h merge where, and we're gonna say tag and tag id 1. Close it. So I think our problem is kind of solved now. So we simply call merge, right? So instead of calling where, we say merge where, right? Now we get the entire thing back. Now we should be doing it in a different way, and let's see. So we have this merge option. So what we want to do, call merge on 1, then we pipe with the same thing next, right? So we could do that in loop, and okay. So this is like a completely different approach than before we're doing something crazy. Can it take merge where? Simply h Okay, let's do this, right? Loop. Map will not work in that case. And what else we can do? So we basically have to merge and collect its value. Let's try apply, since I don't really understand apply, right? So apply h merge on this data set, and it's kind of solves the problem. It's still kind of hard for me to wrap my head around apply, but if you can think of it, just apply that function to the entire collection, right? Kind of super easy. So we don't have to anything else, so we simply apply, and voila, we get all the things we want. Now let's get our query. Let query is equal to row now. The thing is, do we want to convert all the rows? Let's call it 28 and give one more value to it. We got the rows right. Now where we are, okay, why is that? Let's call it a function. Okay, so we get all the where queries, and now what do we have to do? Yes, okay. Define, and we create a private function, sync tag star, maybe that will operate on row, table, so we get a row in here. Let query, we will give it a row, and we get the query, right? Since we already have this query, so what we're going to do, we're gonna pipe that query to select h.select. Okay, maybe we can say from table name, then we will simply get the count, right? So before we do anything, let's just run that, and sync table name will be the table name of tags, and we get tag id, tag name. We simply give them one row, which is tag id, note id 1, tag id 2, and from notes. Okay, let's try to db query okay. First of all, let's make sure the data is correctly inserted. Okay, so what is the error? Def query and tag id is equal to this from. Okay, maybe we have to specify the select, right? Okay, select just for now, select everything, and we update this. Redefine the query, print query, select all from there, and let's try to run the query. Note id does not exist. Have we specified the correct table name? Notes tags. Okay, so something is wrong, like it's checking the table name, it has note id, and that shouldn't be the case. And the table from select, okay, sorry, where node id is tag id is 1, and select all from nodes tags. Okay, first of all, let's call. Is there any way to like honey SQL? I think we are doing dp.clj. Insert SQL.format. Let's import that. Push into comments. SQL format. Yeah, obviously. Select all from nodes where node id and tag id is equal to this. I think the issue is it's wrapping inside a brackets, and let's try to fire it in SQL, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get error. Okay, that could be due to let's try to reprint that. I think I know why it is. Okay, SQL query. Okay, so we found the issue, which is we have to like pre-append a comparison operator. Okay, rows, and we want to pre-append operator on all the values, which is map and map cons Clojure pre-append vector. Clojure doc. Cons would work really nicely with the lists, but merge and conj nucleation of access. So okay, conjuging to a list is done at the beginning. Notice the conjuging to the vector is done at the end, and this thing, okay, conjoin returns a new collection with the access added. Okay, so access is the last element. Conj nil item returns items. The addition may happen in the different places depending on the concentrate type. So conj is not, we are not looking for conj. Now cons, notice that the first item is not expanded. Okay, let's say, yeah, we going to use cons, but if you are like doing cons over and over on large vector, I think it's not gonna scale up. Alright, so what we're gonna say, we're gonna do that. And let's try that. Sync nodes, right? And we can do one more thing, which is map vector. Okay, we still don't get the desired result, but we will be fine. I think it's because the cons operator returns a vector instead of a list. Okay, we can say, or maybe we can convert, but never mind, we will see. If we simply want to get a vac back, we can say vac. So we do get a vector back. This is kind of getting pretty large. So okay, what would I like is to get something above there. Can we redefine? Probably we should be able to. Right, let's now try to run the query. TP query. Okay, we get no result because will be no data inside it. So if we send 28, we do get a row back. Let's send in simply one tag ID, and we do get that. If we try to insert one more element with the ID number 26 and get the 26, we get 26 back. Okay, so yeah, we somehow get the sync working. I think rest of it I will look at it tomorrow. Are we still live streaming? Okay. Is there any way to end this? Can we end it? Okay.